Hey everybody, Tired Metalhead Weatherman here. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hopefully everyone's had a good week. It's been a pretty quiet week, and it looks like through the weekend we're going to be expecting, for the most part, a little bit of the same thing. There are a few changes coming, so I went ahead and decided to do a video on that tonight. I was almost questioning whether I should or not. For the most part, as far as like severe weather is concerned, it's the same old song and dance. Chance of thunderstorms does appear prevalent in a couple areas, mainly towards the northwest and also parts of the Gulf of Mexico, particularly towards Louisiana, Mississippi, and southern Alabama here, maybe even parts of the western Florida panhandle, just outside of Seattle as well, towards Washington. We might have a chance for a few storms over the next couple of days. And even if we look into Monday here, it's relatively quiet, maybe towards the southern part of the Texas coast, towards the Gulf. That's where we might have a shot at a couple of rumbles of thunder. But as far as anything of significance, nothing to really be concerned with at this time. We talked about where the weather pattern might start to pick up a little bit later down the line, especially after Thanksgiving. But we'll have the link to that video in the top right hand corner. One thing that's also interesting to note, and we're not going to necessarily get into that too heavily tonight, is this little area right here towards the tropics that we'll need to be watching over the next 7 days. That has a 30% chance of development. Not making a video tonight. I'm probably going to make one Sunday. I might take tomorrow off because there's some things I might have coming up that I need to take care of. So I might be a little busy, might not. We'll see how things play out. If I have the time to put up a video, then I'll try to make a Weather Nerd 101, kind of going into further details of what to look for with winter storms. But in any case, back to the video. So the main thing that's been the topic normally throughout the last few weeks has been the temperature swing. We've been dealing with a lot of warm-ups and cool downs alike, and we're going to see a pretty similar thing this weekend. This time we're looking at more of a cool down towards the east right now, and it won't take long to really notice the difference until all the way into like tomorrow afternoon, where we were in the 70s across parts of the southeast this week, and heading into this weekend. Once we get to tomorrow here and throughout the day, we're going to struggle to get above 60. It's going to be cloudy, so those overnight temperatures aren't going to be too bad. We're going to mainly stay in the 50s there, but we're not going to really get too far above where we were the following day, I should say. As far as the rest of the country is concerned, as we look towards the northeast, this is where we'll start to see the temperatures kind of drop off a bit more. And really the big winners or loser, depending on if you like cold or not, really is going to be more so towards the Rockies, of course, where we have that cold air really starting to become more dominant, starting to see those below freezing temperatures coming into play. And then also towards the southwest here is where we see those warmer temperatures. Even then, we're struggling to get above 80. This is about where we're expected to be during this time of year, so nothing of major significance to write at this point, as far as or nothing of major significance to report. I don't know why I said right, but as far as the big topic here with temperatures are concerned, this is really all I can really say at this point right now. Like I said, later down the line, things are getting a little bit more interesting from that point. Wind gusts are going to be a big thing this weekend, though. With this frontal boundary passing through, it's going to be sparking shower thunderstorm activity towards the southeast in particular. We could get some stronger wind gusts from this as a result. We could see some 20-30 mile per hour gusts towards the cornfields. We could see maybe getting up to about 40 plus miles an hour. Some wind advisories wouldn't be surprising. Towards the northwest, though, is where the winds will be strongest. These storm systems that are north of the border are still going to end up having some pretty strong winds on the tail end of them on the southern sector. And with this coming into play here, we could see some stronger wind gusts getting up to about 50-60 miles an hour. The mountains also play a role in this as well. And then as we go through Sunday here, it looks like we see a little bit of a drop off here in the winds here, just a little bit, starting to get down into those 20s, maybe mid 20 mile per hour range here. Then also we're seeing a little bit of an increase in activity over towards the eastern part of the Rockies. Outside of that, though, and towards the Great Lakes, winds are relatively light towards the Great Lakes, especially towards Michigan, especially if you are going to be happening to be out overnight. You might want to be on the lookout for those winds because they're going to be a little bit crispy at night, if you will. Those 40-mile-per-hour gusts here and there, along with cooler temperatures, it could make for an uncomfortable evening. Just if you're not outside, it shouldn't be a problem, though. Last thing to make note of here is the reflectivity model. And for the most part, the picture is going to be rather quiet. Towards the south is where we're expecting most of the activity throughout the weekend here. Could see a couple of odd rain and snow showers here towards the northwest. But outside of that, really nothing to talk about that's very noteworthy at this time. Once we get towards the end of the week here, we do get this low that the end of the weekend and into the week, we have this low that develops. And this could increase shower activity, of course, towards Texas here, especially towards southern Texas, Houston, Galveston. All of you guys need to be on the lookout. Could be dealing with a wet Monday morning here. But one other thing to make note of here is the rainfall totals. We'll be keeping an eye on that, particularly over towards the Texas coast here. Everywhere else, you could maybe expect an inch of precip here in total. And then over towards the northwest is where we expect those the highest probability of rainfall in particular. Keep in mind that with the temperatures kind of shifting over here a little bit more, there is a chance that some of this could fall as snow or some form of frozen precipitation, but I wouldn't expect much in the way of accumulation. Most of this looks like it's going to be more so in the valleys at this point. And this is pretty much a look at all the models. Notice there's a little bit of variance. Some of them are a little bit stronger or have a heavier signals, so to speak. But for the most part here, if we look at NAM 3 kilometer, for example, pretty much all of them are in pretty good agreement here that towards the southeastern parts of Texas, towards the coast, is where we're going to expect some of the heavier rainfall. Towards the Gulf Coast could be another spot of interest, maybe up to 1.5 inches. And then maybe towards central Georgia, southern Alabama, we could expect some heavier pockets of rainfall here too. Then over towards the northwest, of course, a little bit heavier, about 3, could even potentially see up to 5 inches. These totals can sometimes be overdone, so I'm not going to put too much merit in what the final total will be. But for the most part, we're seeing a pretty good level of agreement or congruence between models here. Then, of course, we look at the snowfall here. Unless you're towards really central parts of Washington here, or we're up in the mountains here, we aren't expecting much in the way of snow here. And really then, like, there's a lot of model disagreement here. Some of these areas show a heavy pocket of snow here. Like, for example, the GFS and the NAM are kind of hot on this area here. And some of these other areas are kind of, a little bit more skimpy with it. So, like I said, it's kind of up in the air exactly what the totals will be. We can also take a look at the National Weather Service Splenda models, which is really all those models put together to create kind of a happy medium here. We're still seeing a decent number where we're hitting about maybe 25 to maybe 40 inches of snow possible here. But for the most part, I'm thinking we might see something a little bit lighter than that. But it all depends on how the storm track that ends up being north of Canada ends up. If it drops a little further to the south, we could see some higher totals, maybe even some snow further to the south here. But for the most part, I'm thinking the numbers are probably going to stay the same right now. But as we all know with weather, you never know. So that being said, appreciate anyone who's watching. Appreciate everyone who's liked, commented, subscribed up to this point. Made the year very awesome for this channel. Very happy to be at the point that I'm at in 2 years. So just wanted to say thank you for that. But I hope to see you guys really soon. Probably have a video sometime this weekend, just not sure entirely when. But this has been Metalhead Weatherman. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care and have a good night.